Brother gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up, brother gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
I just received this awesome gift in the mail today, and I just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate it a ton. This shirt gets me ready for the holiday season with Bullhorn Betty.
Her family has been struggling so much to find answers, and they have been met with lies after lies after lies from a lot of people that proclaim to be this young lady's friends. So
this is Layla Santanello. She has been missing since June 27th, 2023, and she disappeared from Kingsport, Tennessee. Chronicles of Olivia and I went out to Kingsport, Tennessee on several different trips, searching for Layla Santanello or any information leading to her whereabouts. These are my thoughts on this case.
well, I have to be honest with you. I was hoping by now we would have found Layla. So this has been very hard. You know, we want to bring her home. We want to make sure that her family knows what happened to her, I think is really the most important. Her family has been struggling so much to find answers, and they have been met with lies after lies after lies from a lot of people that proclaim to be this young lady's friends. Just like to speak to them just for a moment and just say, if you know something, say something, because her life does matter. For the family members of these people that know what happened to her, it could have been your daughter. It could have been your granddaughter. You need to ask them to stand up and speak up.
Once the new evidence came to light, Sheriff Gaylor was adamant that we needed to inform our community as soon as possible.
These were just a few words that the chief of police said at a press conference related to Rachel Morin, which went missing August 5th. However, she was found a day later, bludgeoned to death. Rachel Morin, mother of 5, often found comfort in being outdoors and working out. This was no different August 5th, around 6 p.m. when she went to the Maupassant Heritage Trail in Bel Air, Maryland. Nobody really knows what happened on that trail, but whatever it is, it was really horrible. A teenage girl found her body the next day during search efforts. The horrific scene only can be what is left to imagination.
Her death has grabbed local, state, national, and international headlines.
DNA was located at the scene of the crime.
DNA evidence is part of nearly every modern-day investigation, and in Rachel's case, DNA evidence was collected by our Forensic Services Unit. This DNA evidence has come back as a match, tied to a home invasion and an assault of a young girl in Los Angeles this past March.
This is the first time that we heard of an assailant associated with her case.
Unfortunately, that suspect has not been positively identified, but he did leave behind his DNA. In the video we obtained from the Los Angeles Police Department to be the person that murdered Rachel Morin on August 5th.
Rachel, mother of 5, died a brutal death. Can you help?
And the tip line number is 410-836-7788.
Summer Wells went missing on June 15th, 2021. She disappeared from her home at 110 Ben Hill Road in Hawkins County. On her 2-year milestone, we placed this banner on the side of the road. Since she went missing, she hasn't been heard or seen from again. While I was visiting the area, I saw Don Wells working on his truck and asked him if he'd come down and speak to me, which he did. Don Wells and I had a conversation about his daughter Summer Wells and information related to her disappearance. Don Wells maintains that somebody came on the property and took his daughter away. He still believes after all this time she has been abducted. His family came under heavy scrutiny, but they maintain their innocence. One thing Don Wells told me is that they have no new leads into anybody that could have been responsible or is responsible for the disappearance of his daughter, Summer Wells. Many people across this country want to know what happened to Summer Wells. Where is Summer? If you have any information related to the disappearance of Summer Wells, you are asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND.
Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club.
Coffee Club.
Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
What is up, my beautiful people of YouTube and X? It's nice to see you all here this Thursday morning. It's nice. Today is rainy and cold here at my house here in Florida. It's nice to see you, Sonia. Good morning. Bullhorn Betty and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories is here. We're here. We're official. We're official. Mama Shelvell saying good morning to everybody, all the beautiful coffee beans out there. It's nice to see you. It's me, Jen, my pen pal, my PFF pen pal that I've been horrible about getting back to, right? Like I've been absolutely horrible about getting back to. I haven't gotten back to anybody. I did get back to Unicorn, okay? So we can give myself an applause. Actually, I didn't get back to her. I picked up the phone. I picked up the phone, I swear. It's nice to see you guys. Jules, good morning. It's nice to see you here this beautiful morning. I don't know what it is on your coast. All I know is I went to go take the recycling out to the garbage can, and I'm like, I opened the door and I'm like, it
can wait. It can wait. I didn't feel like getting drizzled on this early in the morning. It's pretty wet outside, at least here in Manatee County, right? Here in Manatee County. Crafty Chris, it's nice to see you. We've got the Real Me Too in the house. I got to tell you, me and the Real Me Too, we were on the phone talking about the Savannah Soto case yesterday. I was like, I've been bouncing back, whether it was murder, suicide, whether it was a murder, because they were just not providing us a whole lot of information on the case. And then all the news outlets started talking about one of the victims and how abusive he was to the other victims. So it almost started leading in the lack of information. You always follow the behaviors of the local news and the law enforcement, and they were just keeping everything so tight to the vest that it's like, okay, well, did the boyfriend do it? And so we did finally get some clarification on what happened. It's not good. We might have some reasonings behind it. I don't know. It's a sad case. This is a case that's filled with crime, right? We're hearing that they were affiliated with gang or gang affiliations of some sort. I don't know if they were involved directly with a gang or if they just had friends that were associated with a gang. But this is just, it's really bad. And I've got to be very careful because, obviously we care about the victims. I don't care what their history is. I don't care where they came from. I don't care what they did. Nothing they did deserves this, period. There's no excuse. There's no explanation for what happened to this young couple and their unborn child. Nothing. So, but it's still stuff we're going to have to talk about. We're going to try to do it as respectfully as possible because, obviously there are 3 victims here and a wealth of other people. But we're going to talk frankly about the case, and it's going to be a little tough. It's going to be a tough pill. It's a tough pill for me to swallow. So I can't imagine for my audience. Mama Shellbell, good morning. Steph, it's nice to see you. Who else do we have up in the house? Angie reminding us, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button on your way in. It's nice to see you. Crystal Lynn, Nani Sunshine, good morning. Robin Elise, it's nice to see you. Good morning, love. Good morning. Second Thesis is up in the house. Olivia, good morning. It's nice to see you, love. Tammy Sue, it's also nice to see you. I love seeing your name here. I love seeing all you guys here. Manic Mama T, Sweet Misery. I don't know if you guys saw, I didn't pull it up, but I'm going to have to pull it up. I'm going to be on Sweet Misery's channel tonight. We're going to be talking, excuse me. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Turtle Boy case and information. Because a lot of us here only have learned of Turtle Boy or Turtle Boy's existence since this Karen Reed case. Many of us didn't know who this man was, have never heard of him before, let alone, having the following that he does have, especially with us not knowing who he is. And then we come to the realization that he's been doing this kind of stuff for a really, really long time. And there are other victims of Turtle Boys in his wake. He's been sued a lot of times. It sounds like that he's been inappropriately using the legal system. I think all of that is going to come back to bite him. Sometimes it takes a little time for justice. It just takes time. It's working at it. And I feel like this destruction that he's been doing for years, and I'm finding out it's been years of this destructive practices. He gets involved with a case, things don't go his way, he causes problems, he embellishes information, he causes family dysfunction, and then he capitalizes financially on the mess he created. This is a common practice for this man, from what I'm seeing. So we're going to be diving into one of his other victims. And it's my understanding we're going to be having an interview with this victim. We've had an opportunity to speak with this person last night, and we've been provided a wealth of information that I'm still going through and will be going through it all the way up to probably 6 o'clock tonight when we have the interview and the show. So if you have not subbed up to Sweet Misery, I'm going to ask that you guys do that because we're going to be
on her show this evening at 6 p.m. And it's going to be talking about this Turtle Boy situation. I've stuck, I haven't really been involved in this case at all, but whenever I heard the female on that recording, let's be honest, that we should not even have had the opportunity to hear. That is a personal, private matter. I don't like hearing that nonsense and garbage and vile crap of somebody's personal life in absolute agony, broadcasted for people's consumption. Like, this is a woman's life. This is her child's life. This is her children's lives. And this animal has done this. There's only so much that I personally, I don't know what's going on with this whole, I think I'm just because I'm drinking creamer. I don't like milk products because they always gunk me up, and I have an addiction to peppermint mocha. So I think that's what it is, because that's the only thing that ever causes this stuff is milk products. So I have a funny feeling my addiction to peppermint mocha is causing this issue with my throat. But it's not going to stop me from drinking it. So long story short, this guy's been doing it. I've stayed out of this business, but when I heard what I heard yesterday, you can't unhear that. Okay. I'm a female that can't have children. Okay. I'm hearing this woman. It doesn't even sound like she wants to do this, but she's doing it to appease this man that doesn't deserve it. And this was just kind of the straw that broke the camel's back for me. I didn't get involved with Karen Reed because I didn't want problems with the Turtle Riders or whatever they call themselves. But there's only so much that I'm willing to accept as a female, and a female with a platform from another creator, especially when they're doing such destructive things to human life, and such destructive things to another female, and such destructive things to a case. There's only so much. I can only keep my mouth shut so long. I don't like getting involved in this type of controversy because I don't attack other creators. That's not something I do, but this is not attacking another creator. This is covering a criminal case, and he is a criminal. He's allegedly a criminal. And from what I've seen displayed here on social media, I have to say that he is in the right place. Do I think he needs to be locked away and the key thrown away? Of course not. You know how I feel about that. I don't want to be paying for somebody that's a well-bodied, able person that needs to be off their butt and working and being a member of society, paying taxes and stuff like that. I don't want to be housing stuff over stupid nonsense. I think it's a waste of taxpayers' money, personally speaking. So I don't like the idea of him going to jail. But I think he's just been on this. He got his head entirely too big. He thinks he's untouchable. He thinks he no longer has to respect authority. Remember, we are the bosses, but we put these people in place. They are voted into office to handle our business, right? So this idea that they're just picking on him, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And, and God bless the people. I always believe in advocacy and letting people hear your voice. So the supporters of Karen Reed and your advocacy on her innocence, that's absolutely admirable, that you stand up and you speak up. We love that. Whether we agree with the reasoning or not, that's not for us. It's the fact that you're getting off your butt. You found a cause. You're actually going out there and you're having your voice heard. And that's what we here on the Bullhorn Betty channel absolutely inspire and want to happen. We want people out there. We want them doing it lawfully. And I think the majority of the people that are supporting Karen Reed are doing their stuff lawfully. They're wanting to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. The problem here is this Yahoo that's leading the charge, unbeknownst to his followers, are doing all this illegal work that they don't know about. So they're supporting this guy because he's the poster child of fighting for Karen Reed's innocence, but they're not understanding what he's doing behind the scenes that's making them and their entire movement a joke. He's turning this movement that they've worked very hard, the people that truly believe that Karen Reed is innocent, he's turning them and their crusade into a mockery. And I'm hoping that they cut the umbilical cords and realize they're powerful even more so without him. He's causing too many distractions to their cause. And I want them to have their voice be heard unobstructed. And I don't want them, police officers picking on them because they have a right to be there. So we'll be talking more about that on Sweet Misery tonight at 6 p.m. Please consider going over there, subbing her up, and being there for this. It's going to be a great interview. I really feel you'll be enlightened and at least get a look inside Turtle Boy and his actions and his behaviors, because I thought this was the first time, right? Well, it's not. He's done this type of work and destruction to other people's families and lives for years. For years. And that's, to me, is sick. Tammy Sue, it's nice to see you. Who else? Hugs dealer. Are you just gonna start passing around some hugs now? I could use a hug. I have to be honest with you. I could use a hug. A resident hug dealer here. Okay, we'd rather have a hug dealer than a drug dealer. I got to be honest with you. That's just, we got to do it. It's rough riding sometimes over here, but we do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. I hate this stuff. We'll all go off together with our hug dealer. I love that. Oh, Penny, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Every time I see hug dealer, I'm about to put your name up here. I love that. That's awesome. That's awesome. 38 degrees. Oh, good Lord. Hey, but you know what? Look at the bright side. At least it's not 17, right? Sorry for all the people in 17-degree weather. Us over here in warmer weather, we're fine. Oh, 45 and raining. Wow. Yeah. I think that's about, it's pretty chilly outside. It's, I don't know. I think we're going to have a pretty cold New Year's. I don't know what's making me, last night I woke up, my body was aching, and I had the house at like 76 or 77. It's not like I keep the house freezing cold. And I woke up and I was like, I had a chill in my bones. Like seriously, a chill in my, Sepsis is in the house. Ooh, I see you, Sepsis. I'm going to put you, let me put you as a mod over here. There you go, love. All right. I think we got you taken care of. There you go. Oh, I see Sepsis in that. How did I miss her? Probably because I haven't gotten down there yet. Brown Eyes, it's nice to see you. I hope you had a wonderful holiday as well. Van Lady is up in the house. Good morning. Good morning. In Massachusetts here, he's been bullying people online for a while. Yeah, I'm finding that out. Like, this is a pattern of behavior for him. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Absolutely a pattern of behavior for Turtle Boy. And we're going to talk a little bit about the case, but we're not going to get into the details because I want you to go over to Sweet Miseries tonight because we're going to be there interviewing another victim of Turtle Boys, and I want you guys to all be there for that and be enlightened. So it's like, let's see who else we've got. Jules, I already said good morning to you. PJ, hey, love bug. I didn't get why or how they can demolish. I don't either. We're going to get into that. That's going to be the first thing that we talk about. As soon as I'm done with saying good morning to everybody and reading the language of letting go, we're going to dive right into the house and the demolition. I'm hopeful. Keep our fingers crossed. I don't know, but a little birdie got on my shoulders and told me that Olivia, our beloved Chronicles of Olivia, might be out there live streaming today. So we will see. We will see what we can find. Only M, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Who else do we have? The court TV video from yesterday said it all. Lady literally said said now that he's locked up, Karen may have a fair case. Shaking my head. I must be walking into a middle of it. Are we talking about? Yeah, because she might actually have a fair case. He was monkeying in with a trial in the right for her to have. Like, he really is, and that's one of the things I said. Even more so, if you believe she's guilty, his behavior is not helping her case. Like, if you're going to advocate, you want it to be meaningful. You need to have purpose, and just to cause
problems is not a good purpose, in my opinion. You need to have a reason. And I just feel like he doesn't have a reason to be doing all of this other than financially motivated, because you don't stalk people. I mean, he's stalking these people for content is basically what it is. I mean, if it wasn't for content, it's not for interviews, because interviews, I'm sorry, I've never seen a journalist interview somebody like that. I've just never, it's never happened. Now, I believe there's advocates and activists in journalism, you know, and quite frankly, I'm one of them, right? I'm one of them. When it comes to certain things, I'm very biased in my reporting. I'm very biased, and I know that, and that's okay. And people know that about me when we talk about certain topics, and I don't ever deny when I'm biased on a particular topic, because I think it's important for my audience to know that I have a bias, because then they're aware of it and can either remove my bias from the reading or they agree with it. But I have no problem telling people. We're at the end of the month, December 28th. Risk being alive. I know nothing is going to last forever, Charlie said, but the key to life is being happy and acting as though it is. Many of us had our illusions about security, primacy shattered. Sorry, security and primacy shattered. The longer we were alive, the more it gets beat into us. Nothing is forever. We can plan on many things, but the only thing we can plan on with any certainty is change. At some time in our life, we may have convinced ourselves otherwise. We surrendered ourselves to that job, that project, or that relationship with all our heart, only to have it crash to an end. Sorry. I can't turn my ringer off for some reason. There we go. Sorry about that. Crash to an end. Some of us may have decided after enough cycles of beginnings, middles, and endings that the only way to deal with this was never to fully give our heart to any person or circumstances, never let ourselves fully be present and enjoy the moment. If I don't get it completely, I won't get hurt when it ends. We think maybe, but we won't experience the pleasure or the joy, the riches, sweet, full taste of those moments either. Okay, so you're wiser now. You know nothing lasts forever. You know the moment something begins, the ending has already been written too. People are born, they die. A job or a project begins, then it ends. But there's an entire luscious middle waiting, inviting you to jump in fully and see how sweet life can be. Besides, when the ending does come, you'll also have been given enough wisdom, courage, and grace to deal with that too. What are you waiting for? Go ahead. Stop holding back. Jump in. Live your life. God, give me enough faith and a well of letting go so I can live each moment fully. That is a great message about living your life to the fullest without permission, without exception. Good morning, Skittles. It's nice to see you. I am Team Summer is up in the house. Yes, I did. Oh, she needs one here too. Oh, hold on a second. Give me a second. I got to find her. There she is. Okay. Thank you. All right. I got her on Crime Stories and TC. All right. I think she's taken care of now. Well, Sepsis, it's nice to see you, love. It's nice to see you, Jason. Thank you. I've been getting your messages on Twitter too. Thanks for being vocal over there. I have been reading them. Yes, we are covering the case of Savannah Soto and what is going on with her. Oh, thank you, Love Bug. We already knew you were a bedhead. I'm just joking. It's nice to see you, Sepsis. I got to tell you, the picture on Facebook, I couldn't help it. You looked so gorgeous. You did. You looked amazing. I love it. Mike, it's in the house. Our resident defense attorney, Big Mac Mike. Oh, sorry. No, I'm just joking. We know you're laughing at you. I know. I'm killing it this morning. It's like a snooze fest over here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. All right, guys, let's get right on into this. We've got probably about 10 or so minutes of some videos that we're going to play. This is stuff when we were out there in front of the house. I just kind of pulled it up just to walk down a little bit of memory lane because today is a little melancholy. You know, the demolition is about to start in about 1 minute. And I'm trying to find people with lives. Let me see if Olivia's on TikTok yet. Let's see if she's live. I don't see her live, but I heard she's going out there. So we'll check it out. Let me just see if she's on here. Let me look at the lives for you. Let me just a sec. Okay. I don't want for you. I want following. Okay, so no live for you yet. So we'll keep monitoring that for right now. Hopefully we'll get a live feed up there at the hey Monica, JB's mama. It's nice to see you. Good morning, guys. If I missed anybody, is it 7:30? I heard it was 7. I told Olivia 7, but she's always late anyways. I'm telling her 7. It's only gonna get her there on time, okay? Well, maybe a half hour late. What is this? Where is it? Mission failed.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
There we go. Mission failed. Mission failed. So I'm just going to put this video up. We're just going to take a little stroll down memory lane. It's what kind of is keeping me melancholy today. I'm just kind of melancholy about this. I think it's a good thing, and you know, it's a double-edged sword. It really is. But I think it's. I don't know how I feel about it. Let me be honest with you.
Hey guys, it's snowing. Sorry, I'm trying to get my fingers, my needle mitts on. So we're out here. It is really, really bad. Snow is on the ground. I'm in probably, I don't know, about 3 to 4 inches of snow. This is the area that the 4 were murdered in. This is the entrance road to their home. For those that are new and don't understand what is going on here, in Moscow, Idaho, there were 4 students that had attended the University of Idaho on November 13th. They were slain in their sleep in their home, which is right here. You see the crime scene tape. We're going to get over here. We were out here yesterday live for a little minute. And as you can see, let me see if I can turn this around. Law enforcement is still posted up at this house.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Heidi.
We have all of the vehicles that were once here. They have all been removed from this location. And so now the only thing here is the Moscow Police Department that is making sure that this crime scene stays secure at all times. And they have the crime scene tape literally all around the house. They have removed, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars here yesterday. They started with the Ford Explorer, the dark colored Ford Explorer. Then it was followed by the red Jeep that many have told us was Ethan's, followed by a white Chevy Cruze. And what else? Then Kaylee's Range Rover, and then finally the blue Honda Civic. All have been removed from this location. Again, this location is still secure at this time, and we're just monitoring the situation. But today is going to be the memorial for the 4 that were lost inside this home.
Muted. I'm muted. Don't worry. I already can see the 20 chat messages that I'm muted. This is going to be a little bit longer one. This is going to be about 13 minutes. The time. Yeah. So we're going to watch this one next and hopefully just and then the last one's going to be the notification of the demolition. And then we're going to open it up to talk about this whole demolition and hopefully get a feed in. Actually, as a matter of fact, let me check my feed sources now to see if I got some local news story stations down there that I'm monitoring right now. So far, nothing is popping up just yet. Hold on, let me go to Chrome. But I don't see anybody set up right yet. Oh, I already on Chrome. I don't see anybody set up just yet. I don't see it. So if you guys hear of like Court TV or Law and Crime, or one of the local stations out there, let me know. Put like red stop signs, red sirens, everything red in here to get my attention off of it. We're gonna go ahead and watch this video while I continue to search. I'm gonna mute myself back here because I'm drinking coffee and I'm doing some research, trying to find some feeds for us. So just know, I'm here and I am working behind the scenes while you're watching this video.
Hey guys, as you guys can see, we're back in front of the Idaho 41122 King Road here in Moscow, in Idaho. We are covering the case of Maddie Mogan, Zana Kernodle, Kaylee Gonzalez, and Ethan Chapin. This house is still an active crime scene behind me. You see the yellow tape. We just learned that this is private security, which we heard about a couple weeks ago. But when we were out here, even after the private security, they had law enforcement. I just learned that law enforcement is allowing, coming here to relieve them so they can, use the restroom and everything like that. But this is private security. This is a secured crime scene. And what we did learn last night is different from when we were here before, where all these lights in this house were on. They have shut every single light on the inside of the house except the front door light, and of course the lights that wrap the balcony underneath. That was lit last night. You'll see the video coming out shortly about that. But this last night was pretty dark, and I have to say that because we know this light up here was broken at the time the crime was committed. This light here has been fixed. It now is bright. We also have a motion sensor light right over there. So every time we walk up this driveway here at night, a light does come on, and then there's another bright light on the furthest corner. So it does light up out here. But the night that in question, when these individuals lost their life in this house, we were told these lights did not work, that it was so dark back in the back that you couldn't see anything. That's what was told to us by a neighbor named Jeremy when we interviewed him our first trip. We actually looked back there. We saw all the exterior lights that wrap that balcony lit up, and you could clearly see the entire backside of this house. Was it like that night? Or was it turned on when police officers were processing this crime scene? I have no clue. But as you can see behind me, still yellow tape. 45 days after this investigation, we still have a lot of yellow tape. Still, again, active crime scene. We are outside of 1118 King Road. This is friends of all four of these victims. And Hunter and Emily live right here. Many of you guys have been hearing throughout this case their name be brought up quite frequently. So much so that they've been in just about every single body cam footage that has been released from the noise complaints coming from their neighbors right there, where all four of the victims here lost their life in the early morning hours of November 13th, 2022.
All right, guys. So you got the gist of that. We're going to go ahead and get on with this. I'm not sure when the actual demolition is scheduled. I heard through some reports that they were going to be on scene at 7 a.m. this morning. Some people say 7:30. This is a lot of heavy equipment that needs to go there. I don't know what the conditions of the road were. This was in November. The other one was in December. So, I mean, as you can see behind me, it looks pretty nasty in the area during the winter months. But either way.
So as you guys can see, we're back in front of the Idaho 41122 King Road here in Moscow, Idaho. We are covering the case of Maddie Mogen, Zaina Kernodle, Haley Gonzalez, and Ethan Chapin.
4 University of Idaho students were slain in their sleep on November 13th, 2022, in the early morning hours at their off-campus housing on the outskirts of the University of Idaho. Brian Kohberger was named the suspect in the crime on December 30th, and we had an opportunity to be outside the home when the cleaning crew showed up. This is the same day that the memorial for Maddie Mogen and Kaylee Gonzalez was going on in Coeur d'Alene. We are grieving right along with the family as they go through this process of realizing the home where they were brutally murdered is going to be demolished on December 28th.
This house is still an active crime scene behind me. You see the yellow tape. You see the law enforcement officer still keeping this crime scene secure.
So, yes, this was a great.
Well, on Christmas Day,
I try to
a 77.
So those things don't roll over. Let me check my settings again on this one. You don't want to automatically. No, there, turn off. I have to turn off autoplay. I hate autoplay. It drives me absolutely nuts. But as you guys can see, a lot of emotions are involved in this. This is something that was just dropped, I don't know, from Olivia. I just found it. And here's some other information that you may not have seen.
Tomorrow the home will be destroyed, where 4 University of Idaho students were brutally murdered last year. Today, the construction company that the university hired meets and makes their plans as they prepare for tomorrow. Moscow police no longer have surveillance, but the university has their own. There are many mixed feelings about the demolition. Many people want to wait until after the trial. Former FBI agent Jennifer Coffendaffer says, 1122 King Road could serve as valuable evidence to a jury seeking justice for the 4 deceased students. One thing I will say is that seeing the home in person is a completely different perspective. It appears a lot smaller in person than it does in photos and videos online. I've spoken to multiple people who have seen the home, and they all said the same thing. The family of Kaylee Gonzalez fought to have the home not be demolished. Steve says, I don't know how you can see what this man was looking at without the house being there. What windows was he peering into? The man he is talking about is suspect Brian Kohberger. What are your thoughts? Do you think that the demolition should have been postponed until after the trial?
I think that is the question for all of us at this moment. Should it stay until after the trial? Me personally, I'm always going to say yes. No matter what case it is, from case to case to case, when anything like this happens, good morning, Sean. MJ, it's nice to see you. TL, it's nice to see you as well. Good morning, loves. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day as we slide into the weekend. So that's the question. That's the $1 million question. Should it stay or should it go? I mean, it's going. It's going. In literally a few hours, people reminded me that we're on the East Coast. This is 3 hours away. This is Idaho. This is close to the West Coast. And that's where our timing is. I'm thinking 7 o'clock my time. It's 7 o'clock their time. So that's 10 o'clock our time. So 10:30 our time is when the demolition is going to go down. So that explains why I'm not finding any feeds, because I'm not thinking. It's still morning for me, and I don't have enough coffee in me yet, right? I don't have enough coffee. So I'm going to open up the phone lines. I'm going to take this off real quick, and I'm just going to put my face up, and we're going to go through. And I'm going to open up the phone lines to anybody that wants to call in and express their concern about the situation that we're in at the moment, because a lot of us feel a certain way. For example, for me, I'm trying to take my emotion out of it. When I'm looking at this home, I'm trying to decide, is this really valuable? I truly, first and foremost, I absolutely think the largest piece of physical evidence in any case is 100% very valuable. No matter whether the state needs it or not, or what they feel about it, it's still very, very valuable. But on the same side, this is where my bias comes in, because I've met the family. Obviously, I'm emotionally involved because of primarily Kaylee Gonzalez and her family. Okay. That's just the way it is. It's Olivia and I feel we have the biggest emotional connection to the Gonzalez family, related to Kaylee as well as Maddie. When you think of either one of the girls, you think of either Christy or Steve. Even though Maddie belongs to, has her own mommy and daddy, right? And it's hard, but when we think of the girls, we think of them. And I'm pretty sure that Maddie's family are very appreciative of the Gonzalez as well, because they would be having to field and deal with so much stuff on their own that the Gonzalez really are taking off the shoulders of Maddie's parents. And, some people don't look at it from that way. Sweetie Pie, it's nice to see you. Why are they knocking it down for? Because the cost of security watching over it. Yes, Sweetie Pie. I truly believe that that's what it is. The prosecutor has basically said they don't need the house because it's so substantially altered from its appearance that night that it's going to hold no benefit to the jury. That's what they're saying. It's going to hold no benefit to the jury. So the real of this, is it really going to affect the court proceeding? In my professional opinion, it's not. It's not going. This day and age, we have a lot of technology, including 3D imaging and the 3D imaging capabilities, the cameras, the technology that the FBI, as well as others, have. And we'll get back to that. Let me write that down. This is Betty. Good morning. Oh, hey, love bug. How are you doing this morning? No, we want your perspective. Just because we have the same perspective, you might have just a little nuance to it. Hold on. They're saying they can't hear you. Hold on. Oh, there we go. I'm sorry, I forgot to share the screen. Go ahead, you can talk now. So she was basically saying, let me just catch them up. She was basically saying that she was going to say the same thing that I said about the prosecution and defense. So now I'm going to let her have the floor and tell you guys what she wants to say. I muted you. I'm sorry. You're open.
Oh, hello, everyone. No, I was just saying the prosecution and defense shouldn't have signed off on the house so fast and let the university get it. And now, it's all their decision and there's nothing anyone can do about it. But the family could have motion for to stop the demolition at least long enough to fight it, to hold it till trial.
Yeah.
But why didn't they?
Well, because it comes down to money. It comes down to money all the way around, and this is what the university was expecting. So they have choices where they could have done an injunction. That injunction may have cost them anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000. There may be something down the line that is more meaningful for them to spend that $5,000 to $10,000 they need to fight. And I think that's what Steve was referring to when he says, I got to pick what battles I need to fight. And I think he's not wanting to throw the money at this particular fight, even though it's a good fight to have.
Okay.
I mean, that's just my opinion. I to be honest with you, I just don't, I don't think the value in the home is worth, because you got to think the Gonzalez have probably got to be starting to get strapped. I mean, they've been going hard for over a year. They've got to start, they're probably, their nest egg is probably dwindled down quite a bit, and they're probably having to, budget and decide what fights are the fights that they need to be having.
Okay.
So, and then tonight, don't forget to go ahead and plug yourself tonight at 6 p.m. Have you told people who's going to be on the, I didn't know. I didn't want to.
Oh, I'm not going to say the name until tonight. Yeah, but it's a victim of Turtle Boy. CMC has a lot of them. So we're going to start with this one.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are, I didn't know that. I didn't know this was his behavior. This has been his past behavior. And he utilizes laws to be almost untouchable. And he's utilizing them improperly. I'm surprised he's been able to get away with it all this time. But, his luck appears to have just run out.
It's money. Mm-hmm. Money talks.
That is true. That is absolutely true.
Alrighty, I'm gonna hang up now.
All right,
no one heard the beginning of my call.
Yeah.
And that was what I wanted everyone to hear, that I was hanging up on you. But okay, bye.
All right. You take care and love you. And see you at 6.
Bye.
See you at 6. Bye-bye. So there we have it. I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize the phones, I still had the other screen up, and I didn't realize you guys can't hear when I have another screen up. I can hear, but you can't. But you can't. So where was I getting back to? So we have and this is the problem, is the state and the defense is basically saying that they don't need this. We've got all these videos, cameras, different types of technology out there to recreate and reconstruct these crime scenes. We've seen it. This is not new stuff. Like, I was seeing this capability back when I was watching the first 48 hours. Remember that? And the first 48 hours hasn't been running. I mean, they run shows, but they're old shows. They've been running shows for a decade now, or even longer. I mean, I can't remember when the last season of the first 48 hours, I think they were on for like 20 years or something like that. It was ridiculous. Good programming. But I remember watching some of them, and they had the 3D imaging, and that's how I learned about how they were able to take these 3D imaging, these like almost Matterport type of cameras, and recreate these scenes. And what's so amazing is they create it, like, they still, usually when they set these cameras up, they still have the bodies on scene, and they're able to capture with specificity the specific location of that body in that image. It maps everything. It's a great technology for law enforcement. It's great technology. How I learned about it was in real estate. They're using that for your virtual tours in real estate. So there's a lot of technology. Do they really need the house? I think we've discussed it here. I feel like people feel things. I feel like, there's things that go on that we don't understand as human beings. We are not capable of understanding. But I truly believe that when a person is somewhere and say something evil happens, say like a quadruple homicide of college students when they're in bed asleep, I feel like that evil attaches itself to that home. or to that place or to that area. I feel like that you feel it, that your instincts, the instincts that God gave us to survive, right? I feel that guides us with these unknowns. And I feel like when people go inside of that home, it's almost like when I walked up to that house the very first time. You have to understand, it was so confusing. Not that that area, that there were so many news people there, that it was a confusing scene. Oh, thank you, Jen. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. But when I first got there and pulled up on the scene with all the confusion of all these many people that could have possibly done this to the kids, from the boyfriends, the ex-boyfriends, the friends, the students at the school, I mean, the neighbors, the person that reported stuff, like the man that came out, and the Jeremy guy that just got completely brutalized by social media. Completely brutalized by social media. We heard all that, and everybody was pointing their finger, them. Nobody knew what the heck they were talking about. And I remember going to that house that initial time and walking up to it. And I remember, just before I turned the cameras on, before anything, I remember being over by the dumpster, that blue dumpster that we saw in that video. I remember being near that. And I remember just looking at the house and taking this deep breath in and blowing it out. And I just remember it was like right then and there, I knew that it was somebody we weren't looking at. I knew right then and there that this was an unnamed person that nobody heard. I don't know how I knew it. I expressed it when I was on scene there, that there is no way these, I don't know how I know that. That's what I want that house there for. That's what I want the house there for, because when I saw that house, when I touched that ground, when I was there in front of that house, it was almost like the confusion was lifted and I could finally see and feel what really happened. I'm not, you guys know, I'm not a psychic buff. I don't really put a whole lot. I know other people are, I even have, like, guidance is in my, is one of my mods. She doesn't live too far from me. I love her to death. And she's into the spidey senses and readings and stuff like that. So it's not that I have any disrespect for that activity or that gift at all. And nor do I mock it. It's just not, everybody has their own beliefs and stuff like that. So I understand that there are people out there that have gifts that we don't know or could ever understand because we don't have it. Okay. So I'm not one of those people that say I've got this gift of being able to see something in the future or anything like that. I've never been one of those people. But I can tell you, I believe in our instincts. I believe that God gave us those pins and needles in our body for a reason, that they don't just come up when we're shaken or scared, that there's a reason why those pins and needles go throughout our body in those weird moments we don't understand. It is that subliminal message being talked to us from the universe, and it's called our instincts. We don't understand it. We don't know about it. We can't see it, touch it, or feel it, but it resides in each and every one of us. And we know it because we've felt it, seen it, and touched it ourselves. This mystical thing called, right? This mystical thing called instinct. That's what I want the house there for. It's not whether this house looks like it did the night that they were murdered. It's not that it holds this. I do believe it holds evidence. I believe it holds a crime scene that has to be this brutal. Let's be honest. This is 4 people that were slain by knife. Okay. This isn't a gunshot wound. This isn't strangulation. This is a brutalized, torturous type of death for 4 people. That scene has to be. If we could think of the most gruesome movie that we've seen on the big screen, I have to assume that whatever we saw on that big screen doesn't come close to the reality of what went on inside that home. I still don't believe that house has no value. But again, we're crying over spilt milk, right? Because literally in 3 hours, the house is going to be knocked down piece by piece, claw by claw. I saw the one demolished across the street before they built the new house. It was a ran down house. It was starting to become an attractive, because we have a little a student house. This is a house that houses, I don't know if it's a foster type of house, if it's a bad kids type of house or whatever it is, but it's some type of house for children, and they don't hold too many kids, so it's not like it's a school or anything like that. I think they take in like maybe 4 or 6 children, but there are 4 or 6 children on this very not very exciting dead end road. So kids kind of they get themselves into a curious state, and when you have like an abandoned house filled with a bunch of junk, right, kind of like what we're dealing with this Moscow house, where you worry about people going in. I remember walking out and seeing these young kids going into this pile of heat that had a big old hole in the roof that looked like it was going to fall over on them. And you got me out there, which, I'm the fun aunt, I'm the fun aunt. I'm the one that you want to go out with and hang out with. I'm one of the fun people. I'm not like the, cracking whip Betty, I'm not my mom. No offense, Mom. I know. I need to be nicer to my mom. I know. I'm just joking, Mom. I love you. I love you if you're watching. I know you're watching. I know you're watching your beautiful daughter up on the big screen as you sit with your other beautiful daughter that's probably at work right now. We love Mama Bullhorn. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So we have, where the kids go into the home. And I think that that's another concern for this university is this university is just being nickeled and dimed with all of the fees to have somebody sitting on this home. It really is a very expensive process. They have to have somebody sit on the home. We're asking, well, why do they need to have somebody sit on the home? Put the fence around it, board it up, lock it up, and done with it. That would be fine in just about every other community but a university community. And we have to look at it from that side too, because let's face it, our kids are going to go out there, get drunk, and have a brainiac idea saying, hey man, let's go over that murder house. Let's find out what does it look like in there, right? We're going to have some stupid Yahoo, right? Probably going to be your kid. Yeah, you in the back. No, I'm just joking. I need to quit being so mean, right? But it's going to be one of our kids, right? We know. We know it's going to be one of our kids with the morbid curiosity mind wanting to break into the house to see the murder house, right? So we know that that's going to, and I know that has to play into the university's mind. And quite frankly, I don't want any child, any teenager, any 20-something being subjected to what could possibly be inside that home. So I understand that concern. I don't believe they need the house. In my personal and professional opinion, I don't think they need the house for the conviction. And that's what really is weighing on this university. If this house was an Alec Murdaugh situation, I bet the university would keep it up. I'm a little butthurt. I won't lie. I don't mind saying that. I'm a little butthurt with this university. I will be honest with you. But I understand, and I got to keep reminding myself that I need to remove my emotion, and we all have to remove our emotion. This is not an emotional decision. This is a professional decision. This is a monetary decision. Do I believe that this university would keep this house up if the prosecution said, yes, we still need the house up? I absolutely 100% believe this university would do that. But what we're dealing with here is nobody is complaining about this house. No, you're not getting support from the community one way or another, whether it stays or whether it goes, even though the university is giving you word salad and implying that the community cannot survive or move forward without this house being demolished. We all know that to be completely false and a BS PR garbage word salad move from the university. There is no outcry from the students. There is no outcry from the community. Let's clear that up right now. So the reality is the university wants to take this down for monetary reasons, okay? It's costing them too much money. There it is. That is the nuts and bolts of this situation. It has nothing to do with emotion. It has nothing to do with the victims. It has to do monetarily. But in all fairness, with that being said, do I believe if the prosecution needed that home to stay up with the university or the Brian Kohberger's defense team, for that matter? Yes, I do believe the university would keep it up. But they're not. Nobody's fighting for this house. Nobody's fighting for this house but the pain in the ass parent, right? The pain in the ass parent that's got under every single person's skin that nobody seems to really respect or like anymore because, he stepped on some toes. So what? It's his kid. So what is it's his kid? And I challenge anybody, including Bill Thompson, which I know has kids and grandkids that all have been able to grow up. Kaylee's growing up is done. Maddie's growing up is done. Ethan's growing up is done. Xana's growing up is done. It's done. I'm upset, but my upsetness is not coming from a place of common sense. It's coming from a place of emotion. For me. Again, not coming from a place of common sense. It's coming from a place of emotion. And that's what I have to believe that everybody's is coming from, because let's face it, is this needed? No, it's not. Is it the biggest piece of physical evidence that this case has? Yes, it is. Should it stay up until after the trial? Absolutely should. Without a doubt. That's my personal opinion about that. It absolutely should, whether the prosecution or the defense agrees. The defense is not going to agree to keep this house up because they want it destroyed as quickly as possible. Because let's face it, if the FBI, if state Idaho police or Moscow screwed up, it's a win for them. If they didn't do something right and they need to get back in the house and they can't, it's a win for the prosecutor or for the defense. Defense is not going to be fighting this. It is the place of the prosecution. Now, many people have brought up the fact that they believe that this prosecution is so tight and so overwhelming, the house is not needed. I said from the very beginning of this case against Brian Kohberger, from December 30th on, so December 30th, 2023, almost a year ago to today, I remember saying if they could prove even 75 or 80%, I've moved that up to 85 to 90%, but I think when we first started talking about it, I said if they can prove 75 or 80% of this probable cause affidavit, Brian Kohberger is toast. I think was almost the exact verbatim words that I used. Brian Kohberger is toast. And I truly believe that. Well, his case has only gotten more stronger for the prosecution, not the defense, because let's face it, the defense has had to concede that he was driving around in his car that night alone. A lot of his supporters didn't believe he was even in the car. They believe somebody borrowed his car and may have committed the murders. Well, now that's removed that because his own defense attorney, Ann C. Taylor, has conceded. Absolutely conceded that he was in the car, his car, the one that was seen on all those videos and photo and footage in and around Moscow to Wazoo. He was the one driving his car. It was his, basically, they said it was his car on those videos without saying it was his car on the videos because, let's face it, if it wasn't his car, they would have said, well, he was home alone that entire night. He didn't even leave his house. That's a different car altogether. You have the wrong car. But they can't say that because they know they have the right car. And I guarantee there is a photo somewhere, either traffic camera or otherwise, that has a photo of his license plate. So I think it's making it very difficult for him to say he's not in the car or that car is not his, because I think the state has proven to his defense that they clearly have the right car. And the defense is finally conceded. They have to say he was in the car, because where are they going to say he was? They can't say he was at his home, because he wasn't. The only thing that they can say is that he gets into a car and drives around alone at times, really late at night. Well, then why does he keep bumping into the same area every time he goes on these rides? Why does it always seem to take him to this dead-end road called King Road? Doesn't make sense. Makes me almost wonder how he learned of it. Let me go through. I'm going to go through. I'm just going to stop. Don't forget the phone lines are open. If anybody has any questions about this case or has any feelings about why they don't want this house demolished, or hey, what about this? Maybe you're on the bandwagon of we just need to take it down and start moving forward in the right direction, right? Call in, tell us your perspective. I'm interested. I'm a little biased on it, but it's not something I'm willing to die on the sword over, you know. I realize that this is what needs to happen, you know. Obviously, this is strangling the university. I don't think this is a decision that they really want to do. I think it's a decision being forced to do. And when I mean forced to do it, I just think the financial constraints of keeping this house erected for another year is just too costly. And when it comes to, this is the problem that we have in our government. You know, we expect our government to take our tax funds and utilize in the best possible manner. Just pushing bad. This is Betty.
Hey, it's me again. I have something else to say.
Sure. They can hear you now.
Oh, good, because I have something to say. I wish people would stop saying there's not enough evidence to convict him, because we don't know all of the evidence that they have against him. No one can say that there's no evidence and they're going to lose the case, because there's not. I'm just tired of hearing there's not enough evidence. That's all you hear everywhere.
I think that it's the, and I don't want to sound offensive, but it's going to sound offensive. There's just no way. I'm just kind of going to say it like it is. It's because a lot of people have ignorance to law, period. Just general law, let alone criminal law, which is very intricate and has a lot of moving parts with it. It's not, you know, and people don't realize circumstantial evidence is evidence. And what does that mean? That means circumstantial evidence is weighted it is weighted equally as an eyewitness testimony. Like, everybody keeps saying circumstantial evidence, just a circumstantial case, no big deal. Yeah, circumstantial evidence is as big a deal as DNA. It's evidence, and it's convictable evidence.
Well, I know I don't know everything they have, and I know no one else knows everything they have except the prosecution team. So it just aggravates me, because I hear it so much everywhere, and I keep saying, how can y'all say that? Like, everyone says, if I'm sitting on the jury, I cannot say he's guilty. Well, guess what? You're not on the jury, and you don't know all the evidence, so you can't say guilty or not guilty.
Exactly.
That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Yeah, we'll go into that in just a second too, because you're right about that. But here's the problem is, what do they consider not enough evidence? Because right now, what they have, and this is before any eyewitness testimony or any DNA, they've got him turning his phone off. They got him leaving his house. They've got him en route to the Moscow house. They've got him in the area multiple times the night of the murder. The only person in that area multiple times the night of the murder. His defense team has finally conceded that he was actually in that car that was making rotations around that house. So this whole illusion that there's not enough evidence, that's an illusion for people that are that don't want to believe what they're hearing, or don't understand the weight of the information that they're hearing, because this is damaging evidence that is definitely going to be used to convict Brian Kohberger.
But I think what they're hearing is Ann Taylor saying there's no DNA in the car, in the house, and in the office. And that's what everyone is going off with now, saying,
but there was DNA on the knife sheath, and that DNA is Brian Kohberger's, and that was actually physically inside that home.
Right, but what they're saying is, how could he have done it if there's no DNA in the car? Or, you know, like, how could he have done a quadruple murder and then got in the car to leave and got no DNA at all in the vehicle? And I think that's what everyone's taking off with.
Well,
right
think
now.
about his training. His training is specifically related to be able to do exactly what they are saying that he did. He knows how to protect himself from transferring DNA or blood. He almost had a perfect crime if he didn't have a problem with that knife stab.
Absolutely.
That is somebody that took his training as a criminology major very seriously, if you ask me. And he was very good at what he did.
Yep.
But I think
I just want to talk about that.
Yeah, because I mean, well, let's elaborate on that a little bit, Misery, because think about it. We don't know. Well, first of all, you're right. We don't have all the information that the prosecution has, and everything's been under seal this entire case, ridiculously so. But we don't know if they have proof or evidence that he bought seat covers, or that he bought a Tyvek suit, or that he purchased these latex gloves that he used. We do have receipts that they acknowledged of him having the black outfit that apparently Dylan saw him in. They have the receipts for that entire outfit. So this illusion that, you know, even looking at it from that lens, it's still looking as if Brian Kohberger is responsible, and that there is credible evidence. And there was credible evidence, so much so that he was indicted by a grand jury. They've challenged that indictment before the judge. They're having it put before him again for reconsideration, and they may even appeal that ruling. So,
well, I will tell you that most people are going by what is in the arrest affidavit, and they're like, oh, well, they have all the evidence in here, or they couldn't do the arrest warrant and all that. And I'm like, are y'all kidding me right now? They have to put enough that they need to get him arrested.
That's
like,
it.
They're not going to put everything they have on him. And I'm like, dude, just stop.
Yeah, and they specifically say that. That's why there's certain information that you'll see in one warrant or affidavit, but it'll be written a little different in another, because they're putting different information in that affidavit because that's specific for the warrant that they're getting for that specific matter. So, you know, this probable cause affidavit, without a doubt, does not have everything in it. It only has just enough to have the arrest warrant.
Yes, ma'am.
So, well, I appreciate it. I can't wait. And I still have a lot of stuff that I've got to review for tonight, but I think we'll have fun.
Always have fun with you, Betty.
Awesome. Well, sweet Misery, you take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. So yeah, I mean, you're sitting here. Let me just keep going through here. See what else we have. Sure thing. Good morning. Yeah, this is a new channel. It's a new channel because the other one's kind of in a process right now. It's going to be released. We just got to go through the process, and it's a frustrating process, but it's from a Yahoo. Actually, it is absolutely without a doubt from an unprofessional, unethical PI by the name of Steve Fisher with SF Investigates. And he's been pushing this Kiera Daughtry to do this stuff maliciously, knowing that I'm not the one that dropped the infringed product. It's somebody else. So she's suing the wrong person to begin with. And they're doing it in an effort to cause maximum financial problems with his channel because I'm suing another content creator. It just seems so convenient, right? So convenient. And I'm sure that they're not going to say, oh, but it's unrelated, right? Awfully convenient. Either or, we're going to go through this process. And when I'm done with it, I'm suing both of the shit out of both of them for the financial damages that they caused me with this stuff. So, and actually, I may be going ahead and filing those actions here in the next week or two in their specific states, going after them for tortious interference with YouTube. So I'll be having 3 lawsuits going on at once, and they still won't be able to keep me down. Watch me work. So that is where I'm at right now. But that's why, sweet thing, we're over here, because of this unethical, unprofessional PI that likes to break federal law. And he wonders why we call him unprofessional and unethical. And once it's all said and done, and I'm successful, he's going to have a lot of problems. Lots of problems. But we're patient people. That is what makes me so sad, is there only family still fighting for the victims' voices. Yeah, it sure does feel that way, doesn't it, Brown Eyes? It feels like nobody else. I mean, we are fighting, but it seems like the pusher of these things are the families. The prosecution just, he's not even keeping the victims. Bill Thompson he's starting to show he's an arrogant asshole. I'm sorry, he is. I don't know if that's true or not, but I don't take kindly to prosecutors. I understand that some victims' families are you need a little more hand-holding than others, but to completely block them out of the process and to be so disrespectful to them in the process, to me, it shows a lack of integrity. Now, I grant it, he's got a huge case. He's got to be getting grumpy because it's a lot of work, but he needs to direct that grumpiness to Brian Kohberger, not the family. And he needs to be more, he needs to be beyond reproach when it comes to the family. These are victims too. And sometimes I feel like these prosecutors are so zealous in getting the conviction that they forget what they're doing it for. And I feel like that this could potentially be the situation we're dealing with Bill Thompson. I'm hoping not. But Bill Thompson has to understand that these families matter. Their voice matters. And if he's going to be prosecuting these people on the behalf of these people's children that they gave birth to, you need to show them a little bit of courtesy and a little bit of respect, even when they're not showing you the same. I don't believe that Steve has not shown this man the same. I don't know. It's possible, right? I mean, at the beginning, there was a lot of emotion, as you can imagine. You got Steve Gonzalez. He lost his daughter and his daughter's best friend that was almost a daughter to him. You had probably pain and anger that you couldn't even remotely imagine. Just a thought. We have no earthly idea. None. Hey, BZ, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Is it still morning? It's still morning. Oh, yes. If you guys need any custom items or Bullhorn Betty items, she's got some pretty crafty stuff right here. You guys, are you guys a half holy, half hood type of person? She's got you covered here. Get yourself your half holy, half hood. So you can pray with me, but don't play with me, right? I need to find my green shirt. I need to wear it. I got it here somewhere. I know I do. I'm reconfiguring my house, so it will be found. It will be found. Alabama Mama of 4. It's nice to see you, love. Good morning. Good morning. Box of Shameless. Wait until the first week of January. The rumble will start. This case plays into that. And yes, absurd to destroy evidence, but they weren't in there when it all unfolded. Interesting. This confirms BK is 100% innocent. They want to destroy evidence. No, it's being pushed by the defense. Actually, it's being pushed by the university. This has nothing to do with it, in my opinion. The university approached the prosecution. This is my understanding of how this process went. It was the university that approached them and said, hey, we really want to get this house down. They probably had the call of, this is costing us an arm and a leg. Do you need this house up still? We need to figure something out for our upcoming budget, right? Because we all have budgetary stuff that need to be approved. There's always somebody that you have to answer to, no matter what. So I think that when they approached the prosecution, they said, no, we're really not going to need it, but let me reach out to our partners, the FBI, blah, blah, blah. And they told the FBI, look, the university's reached out to us. They want to destroy this house. And the FBI said, well, you know what? Let me go ahead and get inside there and just get everything captured one last time before they take the house down. And then they probably reach out to the defense. Do you need the house? Defense is like, oh, no, we don't need the house. Go ahead and tear that thing down. We don't need it over here, And so now you have the defense and the prosecution saying, hey, we don't really need the house. So the defense goes in there. They said, let's look at this case one real quick time. Is there anything else we need? Well, let's go in there and get the measurements one last time. We know the FBI is doing the 3D imaging. We want to make sure that their measurements are accurate, right? We need to get in there and get everything measured up. And that's what they did. They went in there, they got it measured up. Then we had Bill Thompson go in there last week to do one final walkthrough. And then today, here in just another couple hours, the house is going to be brought to the ground. It's going to be hard. I keep going back to, the statement that Christy made. Everybody's talking about how this house is the place where her daughter and her friends died. And many of us think of it in that respect. And they look at it like this was the place that my daughter was the happiest. This is where she lived. This is where she had some of her funnest moments. This is where she was able to joke and enjoy time with her friends. Just I don't know. It's sad, but that's fine. Walk knock, walk not. I don't know what that is, but I don't know. I guess it's just a differing of opinions. I assume that you're a camp Brian Kohberger is innocent. I actually wouldn't mind picking your mind about why your talking points are, like what your talking points are on his innocence, because even the way I'm looking at it is like, with all these delays, these intentional delays from the defense, doesn't seem like they have anything to really help Brian with, to help get him off. I mean, if it's a struggle for the defense, and they can't even provide a alibi. They refuse to provide it. And they absolutely refused to provide an alibi and actually said, you know what? We'll even take the hit. We understand that because we're not providing an alibi, we may not be able to proffer up certain witnesses once we decide that we are going to go one way or another. And they're accepting that. I'm like, okay, well, so the defense can't even come up with an explanation, even after a year of this case. They can't even come up with a legitimate explanation as to what Brian was doing that night, other than driving around alone. That's totally insufficient. I can tell you, if that's what the defense has, and I think it's problematic because everybody's like, well, the prosecution, they got circumstantial evidence is evidence, period. It's weighted exactly the same as any other evidence in the case. So people need to be knowledgeable on that and quit saying that out of your mouth, because anybody that's from the legal field, it's almost like fingernails on a chalkboard to us to hear that, because it's evidence. It absolutely is evidence, and it's evidence that can convict somebody. It's evidence. Circumstantial evidence is evidence that can convict somebody beyond a reasonable doubt. So quit selling yourself short in talking yourself out of this circumstantial evidence stuff. That's your first mistake right there. You think, oh, this is just circumstantial. If they can just get the DNA, they have real no evidence other than So how many people? You need to do your research. How many people are sitting in our state prisons right now over circumstantial evidence? A lot. What is circumstantial evidence? Circumstantial evidence is somebody over at a bank. They watch a man with a gun walking in behind a building. They hear a pop. They watch a man running from the building, right? They didn't see the murder happen, but there was no other person that could have done it where they found the body, because the only person that went back there when that shot rang was one person. Did you see that? Did you have direct evidence that he did it? No, I did not. But we know that he went there at this time, and we know he was running at this time. We know the shot happened at this time. That's called circumstantial evidence. That is enough to convict somebody in a court of law. When you take enough circumstantial evidence and you sew it together, you have a clear picture of what happened. You didn't need direct evidence. You didn't need eyewitness testimony. You needed forensic data. You needed law enforcement. And not only that, people expect eyewitnesses. Do you know that eyewitness testimony is some of the most, it's hard to, because if you have 10 people that witness and this is a true story. If you have 10 people that witness the same exact event, they're all standing in a line. They watch the building explode in front of them, right? They're in a line. All of a sudden, this building just explodes. You go down and ask each 10 person what they saw, and I promise you, you're going to have 10 different eyewitness testimonies as to what happened. Did the building explode? It did. But how it explodes is going to be a lot different from person to person. What they saw before the explosion, after the explosion, it's going to be different from person to person. So you're going to have 10 different statements on a house exploding from 10 eyewitness people. A lot of people don't understand that because they're not in the biz. Unicorn, it's nice to see you, love bug. It's nice to see you. It all plays into that. It's demonic. Yeah, I agree with that. The whole situation. And I truly believe, and I said this for a long time. I don't know how long I've said it, but I said it ever since I almost want to say a week after Brian Kohberger was arrested. A week after Brian Kohberger was arrested, I believe that I said that I think because when I looked at the dynamic of his training in Pennsylvania, one of the questions that I had to myself is why Washington State University? Why did he want to go to Washington State University? Was it because they had this amazing academic, for the criminology PhD program? Did they have a particular professor that was higher rated in this program than maybe another college closer to his home? And so I was asking myself these questions early on. It was a year ago, early December is when I started having these conversations with myself about who Brian Kohberger is and why did he go to Washington State University. And I think I may have been one of the first people that actually brought up the fact that I believe this man made the conscious decision before he ever even went to Washington State University to murder people. I honestly believe he picked this university specifically to carry out this disgusting and heinous act. And as soon as it was all going to be said and done, he was going to do exactly what he did, call his dad, go back home. Then he was going to say he felt unsafe and he needed to transfer colleges. Once the deed was done, nobody was thinking of him. Now he's under the radar, and now he's transferring colleges to take care of his PhD program, probably a little closer to home to be near mommy and daddy. And his excuse will be he was too far away from home and all alone, right? So you kind of already see his excuse being developed before he even gets to Washington State University. So when I hear through the evidence and through some of the search warrants that it is perceived and possibly believed that the murder weapon was purchased before he went to Washington State University, I about fell over. The problem is none of that has been confirmed yet. It hasn't been corroborated by any law enforcement. And let's face it, I don't trust news media outlet when it comes to this case, because this case is being held so close to the chest that they're I don't even know what to call it. They're doing a lot of conspiracy theories, like by proxy, like the mainstream media is like, well, social media is really saying this or it's saying that, like they don't want it. They don't want to own that they're wanting this garbage story, right? They're wanting to make it up, and of course they're going to want to blame it on the YouTubers or the social media people. Well, social media is saying this, they're saying that he did this or he did that. And I'm just like, really? You guys are going there? The Ashley Banfield and the whole garbage inner circle guy, right? Remember the inner circle guy, the guy that said he was on the inner circle and that Dylan was, the whole Dylan Mortensen thing. I know. Pushing my buttons. Time to wake up, folks. It's Thursday. Time to get your butts moving. Let's get the engine going. Do I have one of those? I thought I did have a choo-choo train. Maybe I don't. We are going to be watching the demolition of 1122 King Road, and we're trying to decipher. A lot of people, not a lot of people, over here on Bullhorn Betty, we kind of believe Brian Kohberger is guilty, but we do have some people in the chat that are pro Brian Kohberger and saying that, they haven't provided us enough information. And, in part, we have to look at that. We have to look at that and say, in part, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that is being held from the public. And we're not going to know about this stuff until it goes to trial. It kind of sucks for us in a sense because we are behind the 8 ball. But I always refer back to that probable cause affidavit in my understanding that no law enforcement is going to be caught lying under oath. And so whenever I look at that probable cause affidavit and it's laid out, and you see this step-by-step motion just laid out, they have a lot more information than we can ever imagine. I truly believe it. I believe it so much that the defense is saying, hey, we can take down this house. I don't say that any case is a slam dunk case. I will never say that. I think it's detrimental to any case to think you have a slam dunk case. You never have a slam dunk case in law because you never know what kind of creative argument is going to happen. Give me just a second. Okay, sorry. Let me get over the mod. Oh, I haven't been here for a while. Do we have a new member? I haven't even gotten down there yet. Give me just a second. BAK is no Spider-Man ninja assassin. No, he's not. He walked right into a house. He walked upstairs. He brutalized 2 people in their sleep, walked downstairs and brutalized 2 more people in the sleep. All 4 of the people, I presume, were probably under the influence of something, whether it be alcohol or substances. I truly believe all of them were under the influence of alcohol, which incapacitated them in part. I don't know. Let's see. Box is shameful. I want to be truthful. I'm a bit scared. I had some weird crap happen to me, and I can only assume it's because I was telling the truth. Well, join the club. I've got this hate group that's trying to take down my main channel. Because they stole $40,000, they need to bring in the big wigs, right? And have show some proof of what they're doing. Little do they know that, like, literally by the time this is all said and done, every last one of them is going to be sued. I'm going to be successful in these lawsuits, and they're going to be, in the end, they can sit here and laugh and enjoy themselves all day long, but I can promise you in the end, they're not going to be laughing. I can guarantee that. So I can understand and identify exactly what you're saying. Just stay strong and keep moving forward. I wish so bad these 4 kids had Murdaugh Judge on their side. I know. He was such a, I'm not going to tell. There's a story I have that I may tell one day. I don't think it's appropriate for today because just the climate, but I do have a very private Murdaugh story that I've kept to myself for purposes. But I got to tell you, it was highly disturbing for me. Shameless. The best thing to do in these circumstances is to go very public to protect yourself. That is exactly, that is absolutely right. Whenever I'm in a pickle, I keep things off. I keep private stuff off, but whenever it's time, I let everybody know what's going on, because the silence is not going to help you. Letting people know what's going on, people are either going to believe you or they're not going to believe you. And once you get it out there, most people are going to have curiosity to at least look in, because like, even for me, they're going to try to prove me wrong. Right. And when they start looking into it to prove me wrong, and they start seeing that I'm telling the truth, it's kind of hard to deny that. Is there any channels now? Any new channels now? Are there? Hey there, is this the new channel now? Yes, this is the new channel. We're going to have our old channel back, but this unprofessional and unethical PI has been causing major damage for financial. He's doing it as vindictiveness, as to pay back, because I call him unprofessional, and he wanted to collaborate. Let's tell the truth. He wanted to collaborate with me and Jen, and I think he's the biggest piece of shit that walks this planet, okay? Right there with Jim Terry. And so I won't do it. I will not work with this man. I will not have anything to do with his shenanigans. I will not have anything to do with his conning and scheming other people out of money on the heels of somebody's name, especially a missing girl. I will not be complicit in that bull crap. And because I was not complicit in that bull crap and would not have anything to do with that man, he tried to take my channel through felonious attempts through this Kiera girl. Okay, well, the bottom line is I'm not the one that put that video in the public eye. She's suing the wrong freaking person. They know that. But see, suing the right person is not going to get them the results, the momentary results that they want. And their momentary results is to keep me off my channel, to cause me financial harm. So I can't go after these people for what they're doing to me. That is the grand scheme of things. That is the grand scheme of things. So yeah, silence is never your friend. Exposure is your friend. Steve Fisher is a bonehead. He's an idiot. This is the reason why I say stay away from internet PIs, is because you got a man that can't even control his own behavior. He can't even take criticism about his unprofessional behavior without attacking somebody, because he is so insecure about himself that the only thing that he can do to make himself feel good is attacking somebody else. And if you notice, every single case he gets a hold of, if he doesn't get the results he wants, he starts attacking the victim's families. This is the same crap that Jim Terry did. I have no respect for it. And what he did to Jennifer Santanello is disgusting. And anybody that supports that man, you guys can all kiss my white breaded ass. Put it out like that. He's a piece of shit. He's a joke. And I'm going to continue, no matter how many channels he thinks he's going to try to take down for me. I'm going to advocate for this man. He's a piece of shit. He's unethical and unprofessional, and he does underhanded and dubious shit to get results. That's exactly why I refused to work with him before, why I refuse to work with him now, and why I'm dealing with this lawsuit right now. So if you guys see him talking any shit about me, please flag it and say it's targeted harassment, because he's been targeted harassing me for months. And I have blocked him. I've ignored him. And when you start doing that to people and they don't get the results they want, they start trying to do stuff to get negative attention from you, like putting you in a federal lawsuit, right? Like he thinks he's going to win at the end of this. Oh, his uneducated Kiera Daughtry, of course. She's going to be able to handle somebody like me. You guys are idiots. You guys just cost yourself probably $10,000 each. But that's okay. And I know Kiera is not going to be able to pay for it. But Steve, I'll make sure I get it out of your ass. Believe that. So we'll see you soon. Cupcake. Shameless, can you tell Betty and let her tell her story? Let her tell the story. Shameless, can you tell Betty and let her tell the story? I don't know what Shameless is saying. Shameless, the phones are open. If you want to call in and express yourself, by all means, please do. The only rule is don't be a Richard, right? Don't be a dick. The Parkland High School stood up for over 5 years. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So we don't understand this. It comes down to monetary stuff. I mean, that's the bottom line. It comes down to monetary stuff. There is a definite evidence of his own involvement, but in still trying to figure out if he was the mastermind due to his cloud forensics background. I think he was involved, was forced based on what. I'd probably cut it off there. Shameless. I think there's been multiple times that the theory of a second person or a third person or a getaway driver or something like that has been discussed in this case. The one thing that kind of, I guess, makes me question, let me put your question back up here so I can read it again. So the evidence that his involvement, there is evidence of his involvement, but you're asking about almost like a co-conspirator or a co-defendant or something like that. I think that has been examined and re-examined. I can tell you, I looked into that avenue myself. I can't go too much down the rabbit hole with that because of some other stuff going on that I can't discuss at this moment. I will be able to discuss in a few more months, but I'm not allowed to discuss right now. But we did go down the avenue of possible co-defendants and looked into that allegation. And I don't think that's possible. And then not only that, but if that was the case, then the defense just did themselves a disservice to Brian Kohberger because they've already acknowledged and conceded that he was in that car and he was in that car alone, driving around at night, which is going to be, and that's what his attorneys have said and conceded to. So I don't know. I guess it's going to have to be clarified a little bit. Can you write to Brian, or is that Luke? Well, it was my understanding, this is what I remember from like a year ago, is that yes, you can write to him. However, all of his mail is being forwarded to Nancy Taylor, at least at that time. I have to assume that they're still doing that to this day, that all of his mail is going to her. Their office is reviewing it and sending what they think that he can have to him. I don't know what goes into that, but that was the understanding I knew a year ago when he was arrested. So he's never in the area evidence at all. Wrong. No, I'm sorry, that I don't think that's correct. I think you need to go back to the probable cause affidavit. He's on multiple films, including but not limited to 2 different cameras on King Road. So I think you're missing something here. I think maybe you might have some information, possibly, maybe missing some. You need to go back and look, because I am confident that there was 2 additional, not just street cameras, 2 private cameras on homes that were that captured his vehicle on their road. That road there is a dead-end road. There's no reason to be back there. There's no reason to be back there. None. The only people that go back there are the students of that school when they're partying. Other than that, I mean, that's a dead end. And not only the road goes, it's tough to navigate and maneuver back there too. If you're not going into the parking spots, if you're just driving the streets, because you just go up and it goes around that apartment. It goes around and it comes almost back right between the apartment and the house. But when you're driving in, you got to drive in this way and up into the front of the apartments, then around back to the back of the apartments. And then it comes back to the back side of the apartments, which goes into the back parking of the King Road property. And then there's that road that comes right down between the apartment complex and the house and then goes back out. It's just like one little loop right there. So, I mean, it's hard to maneuver. It's on a dead end road. It doesn't go anywhere. Hell, even 1122 King Road, like the house itself, it's literally situated on Queen, not King. Queen. King's the one that goes in off Taylor, and that road that goes up is Queen. I thought when they said 1122 King Road, when I first got there and I was walking down Queen, I thought somebody mistyped it. It was my audience that had to tell me, no, they've got it right. It is King Road, even though it's on Queen. I was surprised. I didn't know. Okay, so Jen, you wanted me to read your comment. Hold on a second. Let me get down here to the bottom. I went like way, I don't even know where. Hold on a second. Oh, thank you. I'm just going to go through all of these. Oh, Sonia gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. God bless you. Only M gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships too. Oh, and thank you for the membership, Sonia. Oh, Sean, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. Thank you, guys. But I know Jen wanted me to read a question. Jen, can you just text me the question you have? Because I think I missed it. Oh, Frankie Towers. This is a, let's face it, BK isn't special as some are insinuating. There is no way anyone has a reason to pick him out and set him up. This is absurd. Thank you. Absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. I definitely agree with that. This idea that what law enforcement is going to, let's face it, if they were just picking people out to blame stuff on, to throw them in jail, right, with all the haters of Bullhorn Betty, I would assume that I would be the first person that was set up and hauled away to jail, right? Following President Trump, of course, wouldn't you know? I couldn't help it. It was right there. I had to get my stab in somewhere. Okay, guys, work with me here. Work with me here, right? Work with me. I'm a pain in the ass. What can you? That's why you guys love me. Admit it. Tell me. I'm your favorite pain in the ass on YouTube. Right? My favorite pain in the ass. Why does this always cut out on me? I have a lot of stuff, honestly, to go over with you guys. Like we haven't even gotten through. We're already at 2 hours and I've gone through 5 tabs. I've been talking, Hallie. It's nice. Is anyone going to be there? Do you know? Yes, I do know. Olivia's in the area. I don't know. I'm assuming she's going to bring this live on TikTok. If she's on TikTok running live, I will pull her TikTok and run it live here. So I'll have to call her and get with her. There's 3-hour time, and so it's only 5 something there. If you know anything about Olivia, she is not a morning riser by any stretch of the imagination. Not a morning riser at all. So is there any another platform to use? I don't Discord much either. I don't use Discord. I absolutely do not use Discord. I have a Discord account, but I don't understand it, I guess is the issue. There's just too much social media. I'm not a techie person. Everybody tries to blame me for being this ultra techie person. I'm really not. And quite frankly, technology in some senses drives me absolutely nuts. But this is how I make my money, right? This is how I make my money. This is my job. I got to be here. I got to be on social media. I'm very thankful for social media. I've met a lot of great people on social media, but it's a double-edged sword. I got to be honest with you. With these cases, it's a double-edged sword. Like I like some of the people's commentary. I just wish people would be more professional. They're just absolutely. They're so busy trying to say I'm unprofessional. They don't even realize how stupid they're seeing or acting when it comes to this case. Like I saw some people just going. Like I was on TikTok looking at some of the stuff. The misinformation that they were talking about, like this stuff was disgusting. Like people literally, it almost seemed like they were waking up every single day and throwing a bunch of hot topics in a hat and pulling one out and making a stream about it. Like it got that bad. They would literally just talk about it. They didn't care who they were hurting. They never cared about who they were hurting in their commentary or the reporting. They only cared about the click and the view. And there were some on social media on TikTok that were just absolute lies. They knew they were lies. They knew that there was nothing, and they still peddled them anyways. Absolutely knew. So good morning, Andra and Coffee Clovers. Good morning, Caroline. It's nice to see you, Joy. It's nice to see you as well. Just Deb. Aw, yes, I know. It's the process. It's the process. It's time to wash my hair. So like a day before it's time to wash my hair, I put it in braids. And it just, I don't know, just makes my hair feel better. Makes my hair feel better. But once I don't wash my hair every day. So, But my hair's been training, so it's been doing good. It's been doing good. Discord could be nice for us to share things, and you can set up members only. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'll have to figure out Discord. It's just when I start getting way too much, like I honestly, I like this. That's why I don't even really do, like, I can do YouTube or TikTok. I don't like doing both of them. It's just a lot of work to do this. I mean, people don't understand the hours that go to researching. You make one mistake and people, especially me, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. Like I said from the very beginning, if I ran into a building and saved a baby, the animals out here would say I started the fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're assholes, they're jerks, and they don't make sense. It's all about destruction because they want to be the center of attention, but nobody likes them. So they have to create negative attention for themselves because nobody likes them. Right? Who the hell has time to sit around for 8 hours and bitch all day long and literally not do anything about the stuff they're complaining about? Like, I just find that absolutely a waste of time, a waste of space, and just I find it absolutely counterproductive. Absolutely counterproductive. Did you guys see? If you guys haven't been on to Sonia's website, you need to go over to Sonia's website, or not website, her YouTube channel. She's been dropping a lot of stuff. What was this? Was this in my emails? Hold on a second. I keep grabbing the wrong phone. It's my problem. I've got two phones here. Okay, what is this? Oh, thank you, Stevie's mom. Thank you. God bless you. I just, they sent that to me, so I appreciate it. God bless you for that. God bless you for that. I just saw that. Thank you. Thank you. Did you hear any more about Savannah Soto case? Yes, actually, great time. It'd be a good time to kind of dovetail over to, and it's Savannah. Yeah, it's probably a good time to dovetail over to Savannah. So we kind of know what's going on with this. It says, I didn't quite understand this post. Let me just go over this post real quick and we'll move over to Savannah's case. This is something from Jenner Coffindaffer, and it says, wow, just received the mug. Dead eyes, just like them all. Also possible accomplice arrested. This was way back in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, this is way back in 2022. So it says accomplice, also possible accomplice arrested. We'll keep posted. Keep everyone posted with updates as I confirm. So they were even talking in 2022, December 2022, about a possible accomplice. That accomplice has never been realized. We haven't heard about it. I did speak to somebody at a prison about this entire case. I'm not sure how I feel about it right now. But let me get over to Savannah Soto's case real quick, because we are rounding out at the top of the hour. We spent a lot of time on the Brian Kohberger stuff, a lot more time than I was expecting. So Savannah Soto, let me just give you guys the Reader's Digest version. We brought Savannah Soto up on our segment yesterday. We were told she was 19 years old, pregnant mom-to-be, missed her doctor's appointment. We knew for the induction that she was a week overdue. When I heard that, I knew that this was not going to end well, because a mom does not miss that type of appointment. Then we learned from a neighbor that there was some screaming going on in the apartment, and her boyfriend disappeared and clearly didn't make it to that medical appointment. So there's been a lot of confusion, because it sounds like they were just right down the street from a medical facility, and they were at the medical type of apartments. I was a little confused about that. I need some clarification on that. So I've been bouncing back and forth whether this was a murder suicide or a murder, that these people were murdered. And law enforcement found them like 3 or 4 days later. And apparently there was something with the license plate. Somebody changed the license plate. Apparently their car had a paper plate on it, but this one had a tag on it. So it sounds like they were trying to obscure or mislead finding this vehicle. Long story short, the vehicle was found by family of some sort. It's a little unclear how they located it. From my understanding, somebody reached out to them either by text message, messenger, some type of way, reached out to them and told the family about this location, or the location, hey, cool gamer, or the location of this car. Well, they came and they found it. They found her. From what we're hearing, there was a a cousin or some type of family member that spoke to the media. They're not confirmed as being a family member, so we have to take their information as suspect. But after learning some different details, I believe the information that this person gave was correct. So let me just give you some backstory before I tell you guys what we've learned. I thought this was domestic related because of a few issues. You know, the previous abuse to Savannah by her boyfriend was a big indicator. The fact that the neighbor talked about the screams coming from the house, but didn't talk about, you know, any type of breaking and entering or forced entry into the unit. We don't know whether that happened or not. We don't know what law enforcement has. But then they found the car. And what we learned from a family member is that Savannah was in the front seat, the front passenger seat, deceased with the child car seat over her head. In the back seat was her boyfriend with his, this is what I heard, with his pants down, and he was mutilated. It sounds very, very personal. If this is true, you know, this is what has been reported. If this is true. So according to this family member that was on the scene, it was a very gruesome find. A very gruesome find. So we have learned that this is a capital murder investigation. This is not, it doesn't appear to be a murder-suicide. It was upsetting because all of the news were starting to pick up, I guess, you know, in the lack of information from law enforcement, news cycles will continue. And so they started running with one of the victims being abusive to the other victim. I thought that was in poor taste. Personally, it is something that you have to look at and discuss and stuff like this. So you can't expect media to back away from these conversations because they're uncomfortable to have. But it just was distasteful because it felt like they were just forcing a story to be written. They didn't really care what information was coming out, just that they needed information and they needed to keep this story going. And so they're victimizing a victim. It doesn't matter. You know, we're hearing this is gang related. Okay. There was a brawl that was just going on 2 months before in a courthouse for a person that murdered her brother, one of the victim's brothers, a 15-year-old boy that was lured out of his home and gunned down. So there's obviously some element here of gang relation and murderous tendencies from the people that they're associating with. And this is the whole family. You know, again, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but this is what I'm finding out. And it's not just his side of the family, it's all of them. They're all associated with that gang element. Period. Grandma and mommy are wise. They know what their daughter was doing. They know who her boyfriend was. And they are in court having a brawl where they can't even control their own emotions, which happens. You know, you're talking about death of a 15-year-old kid. I would be pissed off too. I would probably brawl somebody in court too. Let's be honest. I'm not going to sit here and fault them for that. But did that brawl, did they get in a brawl with a gang member that ended up taking Savannah? And anything's possible here. Anything's possible here. What I can tell you is if his britches were pulled down and he had mutilation, this is indicative. Well, first of all, I want to know how many stab wounds are there or what it was, because it seems very personal and very up close and personal type of, he was tortured. That's what it would show, is that he was tortured. And so that usually when you deal with that I don't, it's kind of hard to dance around this. When you're dealing with that organ on a male's body, it's indicative of an affair or SA. So it makes me wonder, did he SA somebody or did he have an affair on his girlfriend? Because there's a specific area on this man that apparently was attacked. We'll find out more. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what news is reporting. So that really is all I have on Savannah Soto. This is a very sad case. Her boyfriend, Matthew, is also deceased. Again, many thought Matthew, especially yesterday. I was on the phone. Me and It's Me Too. She can attest to it. We were on the phone because I'm like, look, I'm starting to feel like this is a murder-suicide. I said, we're not getting anything from law enforcement. You've got now all these news cycles. They're starting to look at him. They're starting to go down the road of him being abusive to her. This is starting to really look as though Matthew is responsible for this murder-suicide, especially with the police chief saying, well, it's a complex situation. We don't even know if a murder occurred. You got two people with freaking bullets in their head. Like, how, you're just kind of looking saying, what? So everything's kind of, so it started feeling like the law enforcement didn't want to come out and say, we'll be live to demo. Okay, good. WFLA will be live to demo. Okay. If WFLA, I know WFLA is not out there, so that means that they're probably getting a feed from one of their locals. So I'll be able to feed into the local. All right, guys, give me just a minute. I got, hold on a second. Let me look at something here. What we'll do is we'll come back at 10. It gives me some time because I still have that interview I've got to set up for. We're already at the top. We're already past our 2-hour window here. So let me go ahead and we're going to go ahead and close out this live stream, and I will be on the lookout for the demolition. If nothing more, I know that Olivia's out there in the area. I was just talking to her yesterday. So Rapper says Channel 7 News as well. Okay, well, we'll be back here at 10. To watch the demolition of this well, should I keep this open? I'm wondering if I should keep this open or not. I think I'm just going to keep this open. Give me just a second. I'm going to have to take just a small little break real quick. I've got to use the restroom and fill up my coffee cup. So give me just a few moments. I'll put some music on for you.
Step 1, wake up, really gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Did you miss me? Oh, you guys missed me. Yeah, I had a... There we go. There, we're back. We're back. Look at that. We're back. Yay! It starts that way. This particular... I got like a 10-minute video, like for music, but it never gets past the first or second song on there. So I just find it's easy just to play it. And if it goes to the second song, it does. Step 1 dance. Yeah, I love this song. It has if you listen to I like it because of the lyrics of the song. The lyrics of the song are pretty cool. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to stay open for the demolition, but we still have like literally 2 hours left. So to be honest with you, I think we should just probably kill this right now. Let me see if I got anything else. And I'm watching all these sites, but we will see what else. Yeah, there's a following. I don't want following now, so I don't got nothing. So nobody's up live from TikTok. Nobody's up live from YouTube. So let me keep working on it. We are going to come live. If there's live footage out there, we're going to bring it live here for you, like an hour and a half, I think. Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and break because there's no way I'm going to have an hour and a half of commentary right now. I mean, I could, but it's going to be so far off topic that we're going to be in La La Land by the time the demolition happens. So we'll go ahead and sign off for now. Be on the lookout. If you guys have not subbed up to Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories, do that. We also have another one that's Bullhorn Betty, BETTIETC. That is our third channel. We're going to make sure that these animals, that, you know, bottom line is Bullhorn Betty's going to be here, whether you like me or not. I really don't care. Quit doing dirty, grimy, underhanded, illegal shit. And we'll be just fine. Just stay in your lane. I'll stay in mine. You don't like what I say? That's okay, because I don't like anything you say. You don't see me over there picking on you, do you? But here's the issue. Out of all these people, these hundreds of people that have attacked me and me alone, I am still standing. You will never be successful at taking me out. You might lose me a channel. I could give two fucks. I'm here. My name's Bullhorn Betty, and I'm going nowhere. Literally nowhere. It just depends on how much you want to fight with me, because I'm telling you, this is going to go legal, and trust me, I'm on the right side of the law when it comes to this shit here. So go ahead and play if you want to. Steve, you wanted to get your name on my show so fucking bad? You are a piece of shit. You're unprofessional and unethical. And I'm going to say this loud and clear because I do have a bigger platform than you, little boy. Small penis man. I hope that triggered you. Because that's how I think of you. That's why I want nothing to do with you, because you're disgusting. You are absolutely disgusting. And when you don't get your way, you try to push your way, and you don't care what laws you break. That's why I refuse to work with you. That's the kind of man I want nothing to do with. It's called integrity, Steve, and that's one thing you don't have, and you can sue me every which way from Sunday. One, you will never be successful. And two, you will still be the same piece of shit you were before you tried to sue me. But here's this. You are such a coward. You are such a coward, Steve. SF Investigates. You can't even sue me yourself. You got to have a little stupid woman that has no idea what she's getting herself into to do it for you. Well, don't worry, Steve. Me and you are going to tango. And when we do, you're going to be running home to your mommy crying, if your mommy even exists. Oh, Bullhorn Betty's so mean. I am mean when you come fucking with me. I could care less about your mommy, your daddy, or anything when it comes to you. And if people want to tear me apart for that, stand in line. It's been happening for 2 years. I could give 2 fucks about it now, just like I could give 2 fucks about it then. Steve, you wanted my attention? You got it. I hope you enjoy what you started. But now that you know what you've done, and we know that you've done illegal stuff, I have no problem at this point bringing that up, because you committed felonies, you committed crimes, you committed federal crimes, and you wonder why I say you're unprofessional and unethical. If you didn't want me calling you unprofessional and unethical, you would think that you would try to at least symbolize ethics and professionalism. But no, you just dig yourself in deeper, showing the world what a big piece of piece of shit you are, because you're conning people out of their money. Oh, and George and Brittany, trust me, I'm not done with you yet either. Where are the gifts to Nova Grace? George and Brittany? Where are those gifts to Nova Grace, you pieces of shit? You guys went out there and you sat there and tried to get all of this money going to you, taking gifts away from actually Nova Grace. Your granddaughter. You took money out of her mouth. So go keep going around to your little pimp sites and keep telling everybody how your daughter is missing. Meanwhile, you're taking money away from Nova Grace and the mother that's taking care of her. But hey, everybody's just supposed to be sitting over here on the sidelines, walking on eggshells, acting like it's not happening. Meanwhile, I have been trying to sit here and expose it while these yahoos, 3 of them, all 3 criminals,
are sitting here trying to silence me through my channel, through court and litigation. You ain't going to win. And when we're all said and done, somebody's going to be in a lot of trouble. You do not utilize a system like the copyright system, a federal system, and weaponize it. I can tell you there's not a judge in this country that's going to allow you to do that. You need to sue the right people, not the wrong people. When you sue the wrong people, you get yourself into situations like malicious prosecution and things called sanctions. So now that we're on our little tangent, for anybody who wants to know why we're on this channel, that's exactly why, because we have an unprofessional, unethical, and criminal PI. This is why I tell everybody to stay away from internet PIs. Pieces of shit. They work for their audience, not their clients. Get a reputable PI in your city and state. Stay away from people like Steve with SF Investigates, con artists, people that prey on families and then con them out of thousands of dollars when they're supposed to be working pro bono. Now, Steve, if he was smart, could sue me for, say, defamation, but he chooses not to because he knows he will never win. So he's conning this little girl that obviously doesn't give a rat's ass. And here we are. All right. Thank you for your gift memberships. God bless each and every one. Now we're going to watch this whole destruction come down for the Moscow house in about an hour and a half. And then after that, we're going to watch the Bullhorn Betty channel build itself up. We are an unstoppable force. We're going to continue to do good, and we will not be bullied here on the streets of YouTube. And when we are, we rise up. There is not a stronger person on the streets of YouTube than the Bullhorn Betty name. I can guarantee that. And that is a courtesy from all these assholes that chose not to give up, right? Keep whipping me and whipping me and whipping me and abusing me and abusing me and harassing me and stalking me. God is good. I still show up every day with this beautiful smile on my face because God moves mountains. So clip channels, go ahead and clip me. Bullhorn Betty's mean. Yeah, I don't like piece of garbages. Bullhorn Betty's mean. You damn right. God bless.